Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys to make sure that if you are interested in this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of anything I post here on the channel, and hit that thumbs up because every time you do that, it helps the channel out greatly. So anyway, on with the news. The very first thing I want to tell you guys about is something that is, in my opinion, incredibly exciting because the day is upon us. It is the day that the Marco Makes Alex Kendrick Kingdom Collection has officially launched. If you were interested in that beautiful Velociraptor Blue bust, that is the initial release for that line. It is currently available on their Etsy store. And I, of course, will include a link in the description to their Etsy store where you can purchase that right now. Being something that is limited edition, I would get on buying it right away before it ends up selling out. But also, if you are interested in learning more about the Kingdom Collection, Marco himself has actually just posted a video on his YouTube channel earlier today showing kind of some behind the scenes of the creation of the Kingdom Collection, as well as a sneak peek of some upcoming dinosaur busts that will be in that line. Actually, all of them are incredibly exciting, but he has also shown off a Carnotaurus bust and a Battle at Big Rock Allosaurus bust, so make sure you check out that video on his channel to see those, as well as the incredible behind the scenes work on the Kingdom Collection. But again, make sure you head to the link in the description after the video is over, head on over to the Etsy store of Marco Makes in the Kingdom Collection, and make sure you purchase one of those beautiful Velociraptor Blue busts today. And speaking of Marco Makes, he recently distributed some images of an upcoming Rubbersaurs figure, as he is actually creating a Velociraptor Blue Rubbersaurs as well. And something that's really cool is this is the very first 3D printed Rubbersaurs figure from him, and you can see already just looking at it how incredibly cool this figure is, with some beautiful articulation included. Being an owner of quite a few Rubbersaurs, this is very exciting to me because even though the previous Rubbersaurs were all absolutely unbelievable, I feel like Marco could produce potentially more Rubbersaurs more frequently and give even more people an opportunity to own them with the use of 3D printing technology to create the Rubbersaurs, and obviously the results are just gorgeous, as you can see on this Velociraptor Blue. No word quite yet on when this will release, but it's definitely a very exciting release coming from Marco Makes in the near future. And then as far as PNSO goes, we actually have quite a bit of news coming from PNSO. If you can recall, quite a ways back, this was probably about a year or two ago, I did review one of the PNSO bookends that they had released. I reviewed the Ceratosaurus. Well, they are actually going to be releasing more bookends on their Amazon PNSO store, one of which is Wilson the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which you can see from these images. Again, I think these bookends from PNSO are incredibly cool, beautifully sculpted as anything from PNSO always is, but they're also really nice and heavy, and they're also very, very high quality, as the Ceratosaurus one that I have is just beautiful. So if you are interested in these, make sure you head on over to the Amazon PNSO store when they do go up for sale. The Chinese market actually saw the pre-sale start on the 25th of this month, but here in the United States, they will be up on the Amazon PNSO store by the end of August for this Tyrannosaurus Rex, as well as another one that they are releasing, which is a Sinoceratops. And the Rex is in 1/15th scale, the Sinoceratops here is in 1/10th scale, and again, I think it's just gorgeous looking as usual. They have just sculpted both of these busts out in the most beautiful fashion possible. They are just truly incredible looking, and they are actually also releasing another bronze statue, which is a Gigantoraptor in 1/35th scale. There will only be 40 out of 200 limited edition replicas that will be offered for sale outside of the Chinese mainland market. And if this is something you are interested in, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this, but just again, the fact that there's only going to be 40 available is a very small limited edition number, so if you are interested in picking that up, I would advise purchasing it right away. And on top of all of that, they actually have just unveiled yet another really cool figure that will be coming from them, although we don't really have too much that we can see of it right now, but they will be releasing Andrea, the Tyrannosaurus Rex 1/35th scale. So this is a female version of the Tyrannosaurus Rex in comparison to Wilson, which we already have. I'm super psyched to see the reveal of this figure because I'm just excited in general to see how it differs from Wilson, but they're also actually going to be releasing yet another figure, and this one is kind of a combination of thanks to Greg from Dino Scream Reviews as well as Paleo Nerd, who kind of supplied all of these images that we see here. Combination of both, but they are going to be releasing another repainted version of their Amargasaurus. I was a big fan of the Amargasaurus the first round, so I'm probably going to get a hold of this one as well because the paint job here on this one looks super striking and really beautiful, and with a sculpt as gorgeous as their Amargasaurus, I just, cannot help myself to get yet another version of it. So there is just an absolute ton coming from PNSO, and I'm sure there's plenty more that still is unannounced. And then as far as Creative Beast Studio and the Beasts of the Mesozoic line goes, we have a look at the prototype for the 1/18th scale Tyrannosaurus Rex, aka a 27-inch Tyrannosaurus Rex, an articulated Tyrannosaurus Rex, obviously, coming from the Beasts of the Mesozoic line, and these images are honestly insane. This is one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen in my life, and quite possibly the nicest looking Tyrannosaurus that I will ever see in my life, because the sculpt is just unbelievably highly detailed, and the detailing aspect on the actual sculpt is so vibrant. Like, you can really see just how nice that detailing is and how much it really pops on the model itself. But just taking the entire thing in, kind of looking at it as far as a size goes, that is easily going to be the centerpiece of any collection. It's just so impressive in the size, but also the sculpt, and I'm sure the paint application will be just as impressive as the model itself. Seeing that the model is actually, pretty much ready to be painted, I cannot wait to see what it looks like with actual paint application on it. But again, just currently looking at these images here of the model unpainted, it is again without question one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen in my life. And then as far as Shane Foulkes and the Cretaceous Creations of America goes, he is actually currently in the process of creating a new model in the works with Passion Charger, so that is super cool if you ask me. Two of my favorite sculptors working together, and he has unveiled a little image, kind of a teaser, and this is all we've got so far, but I think it already looks incredible, and I'm really excited to see the full reveal. So I wanted to let you guys know that Shane Foulkes and Passion Charger are currently working together to create probably the greatest model ever, because again, two of the best sculptors in the world if you ask me. When they do officially unveil this model, I will of course show you guys in a video. And then something that I actually kind of missed in my previous news video was the alternate pose for the Nanmu Brachiosaurus, and we actually have that here, as we have kind of a walking pose. When I had initially discovered the images of that kind of rearing up pose, I somehow missed these images of the kind of walking pose for it, and it's a really nice natural looking pose for the Brachiosaurus as it's just walking along, and definitely something that I feel like looks good on the model and will be a great addition to the Nanmu line, but also really nicely will complement the kind of rearing up version. Really awesome of Nanmu to create two different variants as far as the sculpt goes, and I'm really intrigued to see the actual paint schemes of these figures when they are revealed. I'm kind of hoping that they'll release a JP3 version as far as the paint scheme goes, and then of course the original Jurassic Park version as well. But no matter what they do, we know it's from Nanmu, it's going to be incredible, and again something that I'm just beyond excited to see. But we also have another image of the Brachiosaurus in hand right here that Nanmu has recently shown off, and gives you a great idea of how massive this model is, as you can see it kind of in the hand of the person that is currently working on it. This is going to be easily the largest Nanmu model yet, and just showing off how impressive this model truly will be. And then as far as Rebor goes, we have an updated look at their scientifically accurate Tyrannosaurus that they're working on, giving you a good idea of what the texturing process and everything looks like on the model. Nice to see the lips and everything on the Rex, and it just looks insanely nice already. This is a model that I'm super excited about, but it's going to take a little while before it gets released, so it's not something that I'm overly excited about currently, but as we get closer to the date of its release, I'll definitely be pretty much biting my nails in anticipation, because this looks to be a really nice looking Tyrannosaurus yet again from Rebor. And then there's something that is incredibly cool that was recently brought to my attention by Joe Mike 42 on Instagram, and that is a model that is being created by Jurassic Justin. I honestly don't know too much about it other than it is a really beautiful, really quite nicely sculpted out and up-to-date version of a Dilophosaurus in 1/12 scale that is just as articulated as a dinosaur figure could possibly get. I don't know much as far as like what the price or release date or any of that information is, but we do know that there will be interchangeable heads. I believe there will be 3 different interchangeable heads, and you can also see from this image here, obviously a comparison with the Amber Collection Dilophosaurus, but also that there will be interchangeable hands and everything to go with the model, as well as feet, and the sculpt is really cool. I'm really interested to see something like this in person because it's really neat the way that he's kind of sculpted out the articulation. It looks insanely articulated, but all still somehow flows really natural through the figure. And again, I think he's probably the first person that I've seen creating a Dilophosaurus with that newly sculpted out crest and appearance to the dinosaur. So this is definitely a model that I am greatly anticipating learning more about, and something that I without question wanted to let you guys know about. So if you are interested in this, make sure you check the description again, as I will include a link to Jurassic Justin on Instagram where you can inquire further about the availability of purchasing this beautiful looking Dilophosaurus model. And then, in case you missed it, Hasbro has recently announced that there is a Jurassic Park Transformers crossover, which is very interesting. I had heard about this. Initially, I wasn't all that excited about that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I love Jurassic Park, but I'm not a big Transformers guy. However, it wasn't until I actually had seen these images right here that I never realized that I wanted this in my life, because now after seeing these images, I can tell you with complete confidence that I need these in my life. I'm definitely picking this set up. I actually already have it pre-ordered on Amazon, and I think they did a fantastic job when it comes to creating something so cool, a crossover that isn't exactly something I would have ever considered, but it honestly looks incredible the way that they've already done this. I don't know exactly how many sets they'll produce as far as like different Jurassic Park Transformers inspired sets, but I can tell you that this one here looks amazing, and I honestly don't think I'm going to take it out of the box when I do get it, because that in-box image right there is just like one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. So once I had seen this image, the inbox image, I knew that I was absolutely going to order it. I placed a pre-order instantly, and I'm pretty much counting the days until it releases. But if you are interested in pre-ordering this initial Transformers Jurassic Park crossover release, make sure you head to the link in the description, as I will include a link to the listing on Amazon where I pre-ordered this very cool looking crossover set. And the final thing I have, and it is from Mattel, and it is a huge thank you to Russell Connor on Instagram, who had actually pointed this out to me, and it was originally from Jurassic Collector on Instagram. But this is a really nice looking image of the Chialingosaurus coming from Mattel for the Dino Escape Fierce Force line, and it looks honestly much nicer than the initial prototype images had led me to believe it would be. I still think those brown front legs are a little out of place, but something about this inbox image definitely has me warming up to it a bit more than I was initially. It's a really cool species, one that, you know, we really don't get figures of, so I'm excited to see it entering the Jurassic World line. But again, I wasn't a huge fan of the paint scheme, but I feel like once I actually see it in person, I might feel a little differently. I know it's definitely not going to be my favorite for sure out of the Mattel paint schemes they've released in the past, because again, the brown legs just don't do it for me, but I feel like I'm not going to dislike it quite as much as I initially thought I would. But again, seeing a nice inbox image is definitely helping, at least, to change my mind potentially on this figure, and has made me a good bit more excited about its release when it does officially start to hit stores, hopefully not too far off in the near future. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.